Hello, my friends, and welcome to Be So For Real. If you are brand new here, my name is Megan. I've been working in the online world for the last 3 years, and my goal for this podcast is really just to feel like we're hanging out. I don't want to feel like I'm talking at you. I want to feel like I'm with you, whether you are on a walk, whether you are driving, I'm sitting beside you, whether you're on the couch listening, I'm sitting beside you on the couch with a glass of wine and we are laughing. My goal is for this to feel like we are in it together, okay? I love everything about recording a podcast. I love everything about Be So For Real. We've evolved. We've grown. My ADHD right now is going fucking a mile a minute. So there's a lot that we're going to touch on today. I literally had to write a sticky note because I was like, don't forget any of this. But my goal is to just chit chat with you, right? One of the things I saw this week, I was listening to a podcast. If you guys haven't heard of it, it's called Diary of a CEO. Highly recommend. I was listening to that, and the headline of it was that plumbers are going to out-earn lawyers by 2027. And I found that really fucking interesting because it's all centered around AI, right? We are in a world where AI is taking over. We're seeing avatars of people. We're seeing videos that look beyond not real. We're seeing so much that looks so real that it also looks fake, and then you question everything because you're like, I can't tell if this is real or not. Is it AI generated? Is that guy getting eaten alive by a shark? Like, what's actually happening? So one of the things that they said in this podcast is that relatable beats impressive, especially right now. Relatable beats impressive. And in a world where we can so easily create cinematic content, really crazy content. We can create avatars of ourselves that look very, very real. We have the ability to create, but we don't have the ability anymore to stay in touch, if that makes sense. And I think that's one of the biggest problems we're having is the connection piece of content, which is why we all started in the first place. Like if you think back to the very beginning days of Instagram, for me at least, it was very, very much like you would post the coolest shit just to see if your friends saw it, right? You would post cool shit to just relate to people. You wouldn't just be curating this beautiful cinematic 30-second piece of content that probably took you 6 hours to create just to get 5 likes and 60 views, right? We're in a phase of content creation where relatable beats impressive. And that really stuck with me because I'm like, okay, for example, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm going to explain that to the viewers that are watching this because hello, now we're on YouTube, live, laugh, love. I have 3 phones pointed at me right now. I have a light to my right with a bed sheet over it. I have a light over there behind me to my left. I have literally moved and rearranged my entire living room because I'm trying to be more professional, quote unquote, and have a dope fucking podcast that's live on YouTube, but also one that doesn't look like shit, right? Like I need this to look good, not like shit, but I'm also not going to go rent out a studio for $1,000 per video. So I'm going to do this from the comfort of my own home, and I'm going to probably do this for the foreseeable future because I want to be on YouTube and I want to have a podcast where there's video that people can watch and interact with, and I can feel like while you're getting ready, you can hang out with me, or while you're whatever it is that you're doing, we can just be together. But I'm also going to show you the reality of it. I literally have a phone here, and a phone here. And it's like, okay, sick, right? This is quite a production. There's a lot that goes into it. But I also have a light with a bed sheet over it. And I've moved the entirety of my living room to make it look good. And now when I'm finished recording this podcast, I'm going to move it all back. And then I'm going to do this all over again next Sunday. Right? So that's the reality of this for me right now. I'm not in some $5,000 an hour podcast studio. I don't have literal Canon cameras pointed at me. That's not my reality. So while I do want to be on YouTube and while I do want to have a podcast that has a video aspect to it, I don't have the production team behind it that's putting out this massively high quality video. I have 3 phones pointed at me. Anyways, That's the kind of thing that we want to get at, right? The relatable beats impressive. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have $7,000 worth of equipment pointed at me. I mean, fucking iPhones, I guess, are expensive, but you know what I mean? Like, this is the reality. You're in my home with me. We're sitting here, we're hanging out. I just want to chat with you. I want to tell you the ins and outs of what business is like right now. I want to tell you the ins and outs of a podcast I listened to that I thought was interesting. There's something else I had to write down on a sticky note because I've already forgotten it because I'm unmedicated and have ADHD and I can't fucking remember shit. But here we are, right? Like, my goal for this is to be relatable. My goal for this is to just sit and hang out with you. I don't care what the fuck we're doing. Great. Are you cooking something dope? Is it good? Like, are you getting ready? Where are you going? Is it fun? Are you going to work? Do you like your job? I want to know those things. I want to be there with you. I don't want to be this, like, let me put on this performance and like make this crazy. It's not for me. Anyways, the other thing I had to write down before my ADHD unmedicated brain forgot was, this is another thing. So I saw this Instagram post, right, this past week, and it was about entrepreneurship. And it said that entrepreneurship and building a business online is where the business builds you. And I've never fucking understood anything more. 3 years ago, I would have read that and been like, I don't understand what that means. Today, I'm a very different person. Like, I would say, because also holy shit, can you see my ADHD in real time? Because this is fucking lethal sometimes. I swear to God. I swear. Sometimes it's so challenging to be unmedicated. I can't be medicated because I have an enlarged heart and like these heart palpitations, they're called PVCs or something. And so I literally asked my family doctor, can you be medicated with this like cardiovascular condition? And he was like, no, I can't put you on a stimulant. Although it would probably be very beneficial for me. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, the business builds you. Okay, so fuck. This is so ADHD coded. Okay, bring it back. God, real. We're just gonna be real. So I found it really fascinating and really interesting because I'm not the same person that I was in 2023. I'm not the same person that I was towards the ends of 2023, last year, this year, 2025, 2026, going into 2027. Like, the way that I have evolved and transformed and grown blows my mind daily. The personal development, the way that my brain works now, the way that I think about things now, the evolution that like spiritually I've had now, the evolution that I've had mentally regarding money and finances and growth and like receiving and get like it. There's so much that I have done, and the work that I've done on myself is actually crazy. And I continue to do so. I am constantly challenging myself. I'm constantly putting myself in uncomfortable positions. I'm constantly putting myself in rooms that I don't feel like I belong in, but I know that I belong in them, but I feel uncomfortable. I'm constantly challenging myself in so many ways, physically, mentally, spiritually. Like, you name it, I will challenge myself and push myself to the ends of the earth if it's something that will force me to grow. Because I don't believe that you will grow and evolve and be a better person if you are not constantly challenging yourself outside of your comfort zone. And I think that's why a lot of people don't succeed in the world of online income generation or entrepreneurship or selling things online or affiliate marketing or digital marketing or becoming an influencer, is because they're not willing to challenge themselves. They're more comfortable being uncomfortable in the sense of they're broke, they're living paycheck to paycheck, they don't have the money to pay their bills, they're living off credit cards or whatever it is. They're more comfortable living that lifestyle than they are challenging themselves to grow. They're more comfortable living in that lifestyle than they are challenging themselves to get out of their comfort zone, to post on social media, to post their face, to go live, to do the thing, to say the thing, right? And you're going to listen to this or watch this and you're going to think, Meg, that's kind of harsh. It is harsh, but it's the reality, right? Like, not everybody is cut from the same cloth. Obviously, we know that. But at the same time, in order to see a different result in your life, you have to put out a different effort. You can't put out the same effort over and over again and expect a different result. That's the fucking definition of absolutely insane, right? You have to be willing to be uncomfortable. You have to be willing to literally challenging yourself day in and day out and taking messy action and doing the thing regardless of if you want to do it or not. Otherwise, jack shit's going to happen, right? You're not going to see a change. Anyways, the business builds you. And I found that fucking fascinating because I also started on this breathwork journey this week. And one of my goals this year in 2026 is to regulate my nervous system. I have lived in a state of fight or flight for a very, very long time. I know we hear that all the time. I know that as somebody who scrolls the internet, we hear you've lived in a state of fight or flight. Your nervous system isn't regulated. You don't have a regulated nervous system, blah, blah, blah. For me, it's like the things that I have felt over the last, I would say, year and a half specifically are extreme fatigue. I get irritated extraordinarily fast at very, very little things that shouldn't irritate me, right? I make decisions that I normally would be very quick to make. They take me forever. I overthink everything. My anxiety is heightened. My sleep is shit. I'm restless. I have really horrible restless legs. I have extremely low iron. Like, I'm just constantly on edge. I'm constantly living in the state of like my shoulders are up here to my fucking ears. I can't relax. Rest is not a thing for me. Peace is not a thing for me. Self-love is not a thing for me, right? There's so many different aspects of a dysregulated nervous system where I'm like living on a 12 and I need to be brought down to like a 3, and I've never lived at a 3, right? Like my whole life I've lived in a state of fight or flight. And that's just from the way that I've grown up, the household I grew up in. I've mentioned this before. I grew up in a bit of a toxic environment, right? I grew up in a place where I helped raise my younger siblings. I felt like I was constantly working to protect them and keep them safe and make sure that they were sheltered and they didn't experience certain things that I experienced. There's a lot of things that I've experienced in my life that have contributed to my dysregulated nervous system. And one of my goals is to regulate my nervous system this year, because one of my other goals, honestly, is I would love to be pregnant by the end of the year. I would love to start a family this year. And I would love to know that coming in 2027, I get to do that. And I can't confidently do that with the state of my body. My insides feel like they are fucking vibrating all the time. My insides literally feel like if you took a match to them, my entire body would go up in flames. That's what it feels like. So my goal is to regulate my nervous system. That was such a long-winded description of that. I don't even know where I got there, but in one of the coaching programs I am in, right? Like I'm always constantly being coached because I believe that self-development never stops, right? I need to constantly be learning and growing so that I can also coach my one-on-one clients to the best of my ability. I need to always stay on top of my game if I want to help them stay on top of their game. Anyways, I meet this breathwork coach in this program that I'm a part of, right? And I do this group session on Zoom, and it's like called holotropic breathing, okay? Where you breathe in a certain way that almost induces like as if you were on psychedelics, okay? I've never done drugs in my life. It's not part of my story, not part of me, who I am. I'm too scared to do them. It's not for me. Anyways, this induces that kind of feeling. I do a group session. I'm like, have this massive release. One thing about me, I'm not emotional. I'm a Scorpio. I'm tough. I've grown up in a place where I had to wear body armor, right? Emotions don't come easy to me. Crying doesn't come easy to me unless it's about a dog. I will weep on the floor like a baby. But I do this one breathwork session and I start fucking sobbing. And I feel this release. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. 3 weeks later, I message her. I slide into her DMs. I'm like, I need to know what your one-on-one coaching is like. She tells me, we do one-on-one breathwork sessions every single week for a month. And then we do them bi-weekly for 5 months after that. And I say, great, sign me the fuck up. Sign me the fuck up, because I'm now locked in, right? Like I'm so fucking serious about actually, for once in my life, feeling like I can look in the mirror and be like, oh, my watch thinks I just took 10,000 steps. Do you think I'm going to edit that out? Absolutely not, because we are on Be So For Real. So if you heard that little beeping, that's because my watch thinks that while I was sitting down, I just took 10,000 steps. This is the most ADHD fucking podcast I think I've ever filmed. Anyways, so I sign up, right? And I had my first breathwork session with her on Thursday on March 26th, my very first one. When I tell you I have never in my life experienced anything like this, it was like I took drugs from the middle of the jungle. I'm not fucking playing. My entire fucking, from my belly button to the top of my skull, felt like I was being electrocuted. It felt like there were lightning bolts traveling every which way through my body and my face, and my hands locked up entirely. Couldn't lift my hands, couldn't move them, couldn't bend them, couldn't do anything, okay? Felt like there was pins and needles in my hands. It was an out-of-body experience, but I was also so in my body and aware of what was happening. I'm going to film it this week coming because I'm like, there's no way that just happened. My face was vibrating and twitching to the point where I couldn't talk because the muscles of my mouth were literally seizing. It was one of the most insane fucking experiences I've ever had. It was 90 minutes. I bawled my eyes out multiple times throughout the session. And then at the very end, I felt the pain in my body literally burst out of me. And I have felt lighter. My stomach feels lighter. I don't know how to describe it other than that. It was one of the most surreal, crazy experiences I have literally ever experienced. Anyways, that is one of my goals of this year, is to regulate and heal my nervous system. And that is how I'm doing it, because I do therapy, I do talk therapy, I do all these things, right? But I know that in order to reach the next level, right? Like, I want to make multiple six figures every single month for months in a row. I want to hit multi-million dollars in my business. I want to hire a team. I want all these things. I want to move. I want to buy a house. I want a new car. Like, I want to impact the world. I want to impact thousands of people. And in order to do that, I can't feel the way that I do internally. So I'm taking the necessary steps to make sure that I do feel better internally. And I also know that I can't hold a child or grow a child with the state of how I feel. So that's my update for you. Entrepreneurship builds you and your business. You don't build it. Relatable beats impressive every single fucking time. And regulate your nervous system. I'm excited to bring you along on this journey because I think it's going to be absolutely transformative for me. And the way that I felt after the last session, like, I'm not going to lie, I was actually scared at one point. I stopped and I asked her, and I was like, should I be feeling this? Because I can't feel my face and I can't move my hands. And she's like, I need you to trust the process. This is stored energy that you have locked away for years, leaving your body. And I was like, okay, I'm trusting the process. And let me tell you, my insides feel lighter. And it is a very wild experience, and it's a very wild thing to witness. One of the other things I did this week, which I'm just going to share with you, is I'm very big into card reading, and I'm very big into like spirituality, signs from the universe, things like that. So there's this guy on social media who he like does psychic readings, he does palm readings, he does tarot card readings, he does all these different things. And I did one where I wanted to connect with my dog, who, if you're watching this, she's right behind me on the couch. If you're listening, she's right behind me on the couch. And I wanted to connect with her. I wanted to see what she was, what she feels, what she thinks. And she's my soul dog, right? Like, I've had her since 2019. I rescued her from Tennessee. She drove across the country with me to Kelowna, BC. She's driven across the country with me 3 times. She's flown across the country with me twice. This dog has been my literal light and soul since the day I got her. I will literally start sobbing. I need to keep it together. I've never loved something so much in my life than I do that dog. I've never experienced this kind of bond with an animal. And so I asked him, he has this one on his social media or on his website that is like a pet reading, to understand what the pet reading is. I need to see if I can actually pull this up because I want you guys to understand and I want you guys to hear it. So bear with me for a second while I try and pull my laptop over here, because you need to understand what he said so that you can get the full picture of it. And then I'll wrap this up. But it was so beautiful. and he's in the UK. I don't know what the conversion was. It was like 11 euros. Okay, here we go. So let me find the one about my dog. Okay, I need you to listen to this because it blew my mind and I just wanted to share it with you. I did a couple of other readings and every single thing was spot on. Now, before I read this, actually, Before I read this, I need to preface this with last week on Tuesday, I set my phone down and took a video of me with Sunny, of me with my dog, because she always hugs me, right? And so I randomly decided that I was going to start massaging her hips because I've noticed that she just is very sensitive. She's always been like this. She's always been very sensitive around her hips. And so I started massaging her. 12 minutes go by. There's a 12-minute video on my phone from Tuesday last week, okay, of me massaging her hips. And she likes it so much to the point where if I stop, she literally backs into me so that I can keep doing it. So I end up sitting on the floor with her, literally massaging her back end for 12 minutes, okay? So now keep that in mind and listen to this email that he sends me of this reading that I did. He says, "Hi, Megan. It is such a beautiful and sincere privilege to connect your energy and the vibration of your sweet Sunny today. Being born on November, me, makes you a Scorpio, which explains why you feel such an intense and nearly psychic bond with your dog. Scorpios have an incredible ability to communicate without words, and for a rescue dog like Sunny, that kind of emotional depth is exactly what she needed to heal from her early life in Tennessee. I've taken a significant amount of time to sit with Sunny's energy and understand her secrets and the true nature of the connection you share since that day in April 2019. Regarding your feeling that she is your soul dog, I can confirm with total spiritual certainty that your intuition is correct. When I tapped into Sunny's frequency, I felt a very ancient and familiar thread of energy connecting the two of you. In the realm of animal communication, a soul dog is a spirit that has traveled with you before in different forms to help you navigate specific emotional chapters in your life. Sunny did not just end up in Toronto by chance. Her journey from the south to you was a scripted spiritual appointment. She carries a very protective and grounding frequency that acts as a mirror for your own internal world. When you are stressed, she feels it in her own body, and when you are at peace, she feels like she has fulfilled her primary purpose on this earth. I want to share some of the specific secrets and feelings I picked up from Sunny during our connection. I feel a very distinct memory of loud, chaotic noise from her time before you, which is really fucked because number one, she hates fire alarms. She hates thunder. She hates garbage trucks. She hates, what are those other ones? She hates huge transport trucks. She hates loud noises. If there's construction, she freaks out. Like any loud noise, she's vibrating, she's shaking, she's fucking terrified. So that's crazy. This created a layer of hypervigilance in her spirit that she still carries today. Even though she has been with you for years, she is always scanning the environment to make sure that you are both safe. She sees herself as your silent guardian. She told me to tell you that she loves the way that you smell, especially when you first wake up, because to her, that is the scent of home and safety. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I can't. This is too cute. I actually bawled my eyes out when I first read it. She also has a very funny, almost opinionated view of your routine. I've also decided that I also maybe have OCD because I'm very, very routine based and I have to do certain things. Anyways, besides the point, I have a very specific routine for a lot of things in my daily life. So this was also very interesting to me. She's very observant of the small habits that you have before you leave the house, which I have many of them. And she actually tries to anticipate your moves to stay as close to you as possible. There's a specific energetic detail regarding her health and comfort that I want to mention. I felt a slight stiffness or dull sensation in her back, hips, or lower spine. Now, do you remember 5 seconds ago when I just told you that last week I literally sat for 12 minutes massaging her lower hips because she loved it so much. Like, my mind was absolutely fucking blown. It is not an emergency, but something that her spirit wanted me to acknowledge so that you can be mindful of her physical comfort as she gets older. She also shared a feeling of pure golden joy when you take her on specific walks where there is lots of grass or open space. She has a deep love for the earth and the feeling of the sun on her fur, which is likely why she earned the name Sunny. She is a dog that lives for the simple, quiet moments of companionship more than higher energy play, which is so true because she always crawls onto me and just literally loves to cuddle. The truth about Sunny is that she views you as her entire universe. She carries a lot of gratitude for the life that you've given her in 2019, but more than that, she feels a sense of duty to keep your heart open. She knows that when you are feeling lonely or overwhelmed before you even realize it, and she purposefully puts herself in your physical space to break that cycle of thought. Her secret is that she is constantly performing a type of emotional clearing for you just by being in the room. She is a very old soul in a canine body, and her presence in your life is a gift from the universe to ensure that you never truly feel alone in your journey. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, come on. Anyways, I needed to share that with you guys because if you are anything like me and you are like, you have a soul animal in your life, whether that's a cat or a dog or a horse or anything, it was beautiful. So that's my update for you this week. I don't have anything else to mention. If you are struggling with content creation, remember that Relatable is always going to be impressive. Take the pressure off of yourself, and please, for the love of God, just be real. Just be so for real. I love you. I appreciate your support. I appreciate anything and everything that you always have done to be in my world. If you have any questions or comments or concerns or just want to chat, DM me at megan.kimberly or put it in the comments down below. I'm always happy to chat with you. I love you so much. Thank you so much. I will see you on next week's episode of Be So For Real.